Okay, question number one. What is the most common objection and resistance point you see in closing a Texas Life sale, and how do you typically overcome it? I think the hardest part of the whole job is to make them in a short period of time feel comfortable. And I think you do that by really using your personality to as they walk in, maybe a key phrase or key word that you might say, like one that I use oftentimes is I'll kind of make small talk and then immediately point down and say, hey, have you seen the prices or seen what the school's offering? You know, how young are you? And get them to kind of look down, because that kind of gives me permission. If they pause and kind of look down and kind of act like they're really considering what I'm talking about, that gives me permission to continue. And just from there, you just go, and you just assume that they're wanting to listen, and you don't really ask them, hey, do you want life insurance? Because nobody really wants life insurance. So I think overcoming that initial resistance, as far as just a plain objection, I think the biggest one we get is them telling us that they've got life insurance already, or they have it at their husband's work, or my husband takes care of that. And I think with those are pretty difficult because they've already have their mind made up that they don't need anything. So I think in those cases, just ask questions, because what you're wanting them to do is internally determine, you know what, this guy's asking me a bunch of questions and I probably don't know these answers, and I should. And so that creates an uncertainty, and in that uncertainty you kind of look for opportunity. So question number two. Every sales situation is different, but do you find yourself using a few successful core points and approaches consistently? Yeah, and I think we do. I mean, I do. I think you really want to kind of work with a lot of different people, read a lot, get different takes on how people say certain things. And then once you do, don't try to mimic that exactly like the other person, but really make that unique to you and really use your personality, because people pick up on it if it's fake. And so, you know, you might say the same thing as the next guy, but really say it in a way, whether you lean forward, lean back, that whether you draw it out, whether you're pretty, professional, you're kind of laid back, those things just kind of unique to your personality. So that's kind of what I'd say to question number two. And question number three is, if you had to choose any animal in the world to sell a Texas Life policy to, what animal and why? I would go, I read on Google, and the Google's the gospel. So I read on Google that a turkey, when it's raining outside, will look up into the sky to get a drink of water, and in doing so will ultimately drown itself. And so my thinking is if any animal that's that dumb that I can't sell a Texas Life policy to, then I just need to hang it up and get out of the insurance business. So I would have to say I think I could sell a policy to a turkey.